Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how I got over $8,000 in sales in my first 5 weeks of using Glowforge. So first off, I had absolutely no idea what a Glowforge was until my husband brought it up to me. We were brainstorming different ideas on how I could be a successful stay-at-home mom while taking care of our 5-month-old. And I had absolutely no background in laser cutting, graphic design, anything like that. But we discovered Glowforge online back in October one day, and the next day we decided to buy it. I watched a bunch of different YouTube videos and researched it quite a bit while we waited for the machine to come in. And a lot of people said, you know, it could pay for itself within a month if you really wanted it to. I was pretty skeptical about that, and I definitely did not have high expectations. And Glowforge is definitely not cheap, so we were taking a little bit of a risk. But our plan was to test some things out, get to know the machine a little bit better, and really get things going after the new year, meaning 2021. But once I got the machine back in November, we tried it out that evening, and we started to sell a few things on my Etsy shop that I already had set up. Plus, some craft shows got canceled in November and December because of COVID, so Etsy was really my only marketplace option at that point. And at the time I had a full-time job taking care of a 5-month-old, so finding time to learn all the capabilities that Glowforge has to offer was a little bit intimidating at first, but I was definitely determined to make it work. I definitely put in some long, late hours to make it work, but it was worth it. So how did I go from $0 to $8,000 in 5 weeks? Well, there's tons of resources out there, YouTube being a huge one, Glowforge community, Google, really anything online. Like I said, I had no background in graphic design, laser cutting, anything like that, so I was completely new to everything. I looked up some ideas online on Etsy on what I should sell, what was kind of trending, but I also kind of thought of different ideas based off of what I wanted to make for my daughter or family members. Also, Etsy was a great place and is a great place for finding vector files that other people design for you to create on your Glowforge. So that is a good source for that. But one of the things that I wanted to make for my daughter that I ended up selling was a custom name puzzle, which is this right here. There were tons of name puzzles all over Etsy, but none of them I really liked myself, and I wanted to put my own twist on it, so I did that, and it ended up being a bestseller. Another bestseller that I had was custom ornaments, which, yes, at the time it was Christmas time and online shopping was kind of at a high, but I can safely say at this point, being the beginning of February, I'm still getting sales and still going pretty well. So basically, my opinion for success with Glowforge is to do some research on what's trending and what's really selling out there, but to kind of put your own twist on it, on the products that you sell. You do need to have some sort of software program to create or edit the items that you make, like Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape. And at the time, I really didn't want to spend any more money on extra services or anything like that, because Adobe Illustrator you do have to pay monthly for. But I found out that Inkscape is something very similar to Illustrator, but it is free, and all you have to do is download it, install it on your computer, and you're good to go. So that was very helpful, and I still use it today, and I don't pay for Adobe Illustrator. And once you know the basics of either Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape, it is pretty straightforward. Because like I said, I had no background in any graphics design, so it could be a little bit intimidating if you use a graphic design software without having a background in it. But once you know the basics, you're good to go. So if you're on the fence about getting a Glowforge, I completely understand, because I was too. But a few pros that I would name are that it's pretty versatile. There's so many different things you can make with it. I haven't even touched the surface with the different things that it is capable of making. And it's also very user-friendly. The machine itself, there's not a big learning curve to operating it. And there's also a lot of helpful information online, Glowforge community being a big one, where you can get a lot of help from other people that own a Glowforge. Some cons to it: you do have to have internet, so if your internet goes out, you can't use the Glowforge, which is kind of a pain if you have issues with your internet. Another con would be you have to vent the exhaust hose either outside of a window or into their compact air filter that you have to buy separately, which is kind of a pain, because the compact air filter is really nice, but it's pretty expensive, especially if you have to change it out frequently. It's well over $200 for the replacement itself. And I had to replace mine within like 3 weeks just because I was using it so often. So sometimes I vent mine out a window, sometimes I use the filter that I already purchased. Another con would be the materials that you purchase. You could buy Glowforge materials that work really, really well, but they're very hard to get. They're almost always out of stock, and they're also pretty expensive compared to the other materials that you can buy elsewhere. I currently get my materials from Smoky Hill Designs. They have really good materials for Glowforge. I've gotten some proof grade materials from Glowforge, which work really well, but like I said, they're pricey and usually out of stock. So those are my 2 cents about owning a Glowforge and how it worked well for me. It may not be something for you or something that works well for you, but it definitely made me successful. And if you are planning on buying a Glowforge, there is a link to use my referral code in the description box below. So please use that to get up to $500 off of your Glowforge. Plus, if you use my code, it will definitely help out me and my family, which we would appreciate. I'll also include my link to my Etsy shop for you to look through, and I also have some vector files that I created myself to use on Glowforge. So that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out to me, and good luck!